prioritize safety. Right now, as I'm talking in front of the main building of the university, if you walk there, you'll see there's number of tents that have been erected there. Number of community organization, government departments have partnered with the university to put up what is called a learning festival. In this learning festival, we are working with different communities, and then we are offering about 50 kinds of skills. And I'm sure the police will be interested in what I'm going to share. 3 months ago, we were approached by a community policing forum in Freedom Square. And then we discovered that this community policing forum has been having issues between themselves, the Born to Kill and the Romans. And then we immediately started working with them, and through our interactions with them, we started a program where some members and ex-members of the Romans and the BTKs started working with the Community Policing Forum and Community Engagement Department of the university. And as I'm talking now, they are there, they are involved in the main, in front of the main building. We have members of the ex-members of the Romans, ex-members of the BTKs. We are teaching them different skills. Some of them are now opening businesses of making their own headboard manufacturing, different about 48 projects. So the university has elevated this thing of safety very, very serious. And we know that safety is not just about talking, it's about doing. And we have since realized that many people indulge in crime because they don't have anything to do, or else that they want to make a living. And then as we talk about reducing levels of crime, we as the university want to be actively involved in creating platforms where criminals, ex-criminals, where communities can be empowered to look at ways of empowering themselves to create jobs. So we want to say, as we open this day of Safety Week, to say the University of Free State takes this very serious, and within our budgeting and planning processes, we have looked at ways of intervening in community matters in order to reduce crime. So we wish you good luck for the rest of the remaining days of this. I won't be here long, as I said, that we are busy in front of main building where there's 1,000 members of communities, unemployed, ex-convicts, and we are working with them to better their lives as the University of Free State. So we wish you all the luck for today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Bishop. Ren,
Mashi,
tell me, do you feel safe?
I'm starting to feel safe.
I'm starting to feel safe too.
I am, especially with the whistles in process right now.
Those are very great idea.
Safety,
Hey?
yeah, safety.
Yeah.
So for all those who've just joined, we're handing out whistles, and there are rules on how to use the safety whistle. So there are going to be officers who are going to tell you how to use them. But for now, we have prizes to give away. So
My favorite part.
dude, you know,
My favorite part. And I feel like you guys are the chosen ones, you know? As few as you may be, we're just going to be like Oprah, you know? You getting something.
You get a prize.
Everybody get a prize. But yes, we have a few questions that we're going to ask you guys. And obviously, you'll get a prize afterwards. Or if you're born good, you know, feel free.
dance and win yourself a prize. We have really cool prizes to give away, so don't miss out. Right now we're gonna get straight into our second speaker, then after the speaker we're gonna be asking questions. We have Captain A. Saliers.
Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Captain Salier, as introduced. I'm a detective at the Park Road Family Violence, Child Protection and Sexual Offences Unit, where we primarily investigate cases of a sexual nature conducted against women and children. And then, of course, we also investigate child neglect and child abuse cases. I've been at the unit since 2001. So it is 17 years now. And for the past 17 years, we have strived and tried our utmost best to deliver a service to you guys of a very high standard. We pride ourselves in terms of the investigations that we are doing. So what we investigate or how we go about doing investigations, we deliver a 24/7 service whereby we have standby members placed on duty every day. Even after hours, we are called to the police stations to attend to cases. Here we distinguish between rape cases and then other sexual related matters. In regard with rape cases, we respond immediately. And the member will get out of bed, get in his vehicle, drive to the police station where the case is reported, where he will then interview the victim in a victim care facility, which is out of sight of the public and where the victim can be interviewed in privacy. There a statement will be obtained, and then the member will proceed with the victim to National Hospital or Tsepong. At Tsepong, the member will assist the victim to open a medical file, go through the processes and go to the Tsepong Care Center, where a forensic medical examination will be done, and this is important in terms of capturing and getting the correct samples which might be used later during trial. We will assist the victim then also to proceed to the crime scene. We will process the crime scene, we will obtain all statements, and if we have a prima facie case, we will proceed to arrest the suspect. When any other sexual related matter is reported, we will proceed to receive the case the next morning, and we will then investigate the case and follow the same process. I can maybe just mention in terms of the first cases that I referred to, the rape cases, we also assist the victim at hospital to obtain the prophylaxis medication, which is very important in terms of preventing HIV. It is important that this medication is administered as soon as possible after the incident. Ladies and gentlemen, I can maybe just in this regard refer to cases where it is important that the guy should remember that when a lady is drunk, not to misuse the situation. Act as a gentleman, rather take her home. Don't take her to bed, because a female that is heavily intoxicated cannot give consent. Thereby a rape case can be opened against you later. We have realized at the unit that most adult related cases are liquor related. And either you will find that the victim was intoxicated or the suspect was intoxicated, or both. What is important also maybe that I would like to mention today, gentlemen, remember you can also be raped. In terms of the old common law rape, as it was defined there, it was only females who could be raped. But in terms of the new act, you as a gentleman can also be raped. That is one of the major changes that I can maybe just reflect on. And just in closing, maybe I can say, remember it's Safety Week here on campus. Oh, maybe before I close, I can just mention the one-stop center that was previously discussed. The university had a meeting with the sexual assault response team, and we were also invited to this meeting. We currently have one problem in terms of establishing a one-stop center here on campus. And that problem would be that there is no forensic nurses or doctors that were trained to collect the forensic samples and conduct the forensic medical examination. So that is a shortcoming, but I know the university is steering in the correct direction, and I hope that in future we will be able to serve you here on campus and that it can be a one-stop center. So thank you very much for this opportunity. I don't know if there's any questions. Sorry? Yeah. Are there any questions? None? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Segues. From the university, this is our vote.
To you.
Thank you to you for coming.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Now we're gonna go into our favorite part, which is the giveaways. We have prizes like 100 Rand vouchers from Skype. We have scarves.
We have pins,
Yes, honey, we have
key holders, so you never lose your keys.
So, for all the people who are shy and don't want to answer any questions, how about you showcase your talent here? And we're going to give you a prize just for dancing.
And I trust that you guys are going to participate because I can see that all of you guys are eating. So you are full. So participation it's a definite thing. Ren, give us some music. Give us some music. But how are you guys enjoying the food, knowing that you are eating in the presence of police, you are being addressed? Hella. Huh? Feels nice. I see your sister there is laughing. It's okay, guys. Enjoy the food. We still have a few speakers that are going to be coming up to address the jam-packed show.
We have more speakers coming through, more information. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask. I mean, this is for you, every single student. If you have a query, don't be shy. You're more than welcome.
This is for you. So Ren, I have a question. If I dance, can I win?
Okay, if you dance and somebody else dances better than you, they get the double the prize.
Okay.
But if you're the only one dancing, then you can win.
I can win.
You can win.
I want this.
Shut! $100. There's your spotlight, honey. Does she want this prize? Do you guys think she wants this prize? Look at the lady over there saying, Ella, can you do better, my darling? Can you?
No one can do better. I think I'm getting it.
So none of you guys want the prize. None of you want 100 Rand for Skype voucher. Listen, I see.
I see you. I see. Don't be shy. Don't be shy.
We're giving away free prizes, guys.
I see you.
Okay, I can't judge. Okay, let's make this interesting, right? Anybody who can teach me how to wash up gets 2 prizes. If you can come here and teach me how to wash up, you're gonna get 100 Rand voucher, one Skype voucher, and a keychain.
Do you understand 100 Rand?
100 Rand.
All she wants to do
is to learn. Waza.
Come through.
Come through. You're telling me none of you guys know how to dance? A voucher, 100 Rand voucher. One Skype. Ufuna bangihleke. Ngiyangibuye. Abathi vasha ngiyangibuye.
So we not
I can't.
You need support track.
I need someone to teach me. People don't want to get on my word.
Come on, guys.
Waza. Slander. Waza slander. Waza slander. Come show us. Come show us.
And you look like people who can definitely do the worship. I don't know what's happening right now. No worship. Wash out. ngathi abekho amajayiva nini.
Not they're brainiacs. They look
Yeah.
like very smart people, right?
So you know what we gonna do? We gonna ask you questions.
And then when you get the answer correct, you get a free prize. Now we have 100 rand vouchers from Van Skyke. We have keychains, we have pins, we have scarves all the way from Kosi Gear. So, tough crowd, hey? Tough crowd.
So the first question is very easy.
Here's the first question. Where do you report a crime on campus?
Okay. Yes.
Wait, I'm coming. Where do you report a crime on campus?
This one, protection services. On campus, protection services.
What's your name?
Bobo.
Nice.
Okay, Bobo has it right. Mash.
Yeah.
More fair voucher.
Yeah, Bo, I'm coming through.
Okay, back to why we're here. Now it is the third day of Safety Week. We have Esihle and her colleague who are going to tell us more about how they're making a difference on our campus. So do stay tuned.
Oh, okay. No, it's fine. I think I'll be able to. Okay, it's fine. Hello. We are grateful for this opportunity to speak on issues such as gender equality. We are grateful because the day-to-day runnings of this institution fail to acknowledge these issues. Issues of gender equality have become a dream to us women and other minority groups. We have been subjected to finding a way around this unjust system. For instance, as women, we are not able to wear what we want. We are forced to wear outfits that accommodate the eyes of perpetrators. With that said, I'd like to greet the floor at large, activists in general, and gender activists in particular. Embrace a Sister is an organization situated in the University of the Free State. The rationale behind this organization was being founded was to break the unacceptable legacies of patriarchy that still persist in our societies today and continue to manifest themselves in many ways, such as economic freedom, ableism, sexism, privilege, and physical violation against women. Today we were asked to address gender equality. But before we are even able to address gender equalities and inequalities, we need to ensure the safety of women and minority groups on our campus. As women and minority groups, we are at risk at this university because of perpetrators such as Lwando Jack. The Lwando Jacks of this institution do not have perpetrators written on their foreheads. They are our SRC members, our lecturers, our classmates, and even our boyfriends. The naked eye cannot identify a perpetrator. So as Embrace a Sister, we are of the view that they should be castrated. Their penises should be chopped off. Because we're in a law-abiding intellectuals of an institution of higher learning, we are going to propose a watered-down solution. The safety of women and minority groups on this campus must be enforced. I repeat, the safety of women and minority groups on this campus must be imposed. We cannot be discussing safety. I repeat, we cannot be discussing safety 24 years after our democracy. This university must stop being an ivory tower for perpetrators. When I applied to the University of the Free State, I was under the assumption that my safety would be a priority. To my arrival, I found quite the opposite. I found that issues such as rape culture, misogyny, patriarchy, and other gender-based violence issues continue to exist in this environment. What upset me more is that issues such as these were swept under the carpet and not dealt with accordingly. As Embrace a Sister, we've identified these issues and have taken them as our generational mission. As my political friends will know, Frantz Fanon once said, Each generation must, out of relative obscurities, define their mission, fulfill it or betray it. As Embrace a Sister, we are not happy that we have to tackle this issue. Issues of gender equality should have been tackled in the days of Albertina Sisulu, in the days of Helen Suzman, matter of fact, they should have been tackled in the days of Nandi Zulu, the mother of Shaka Zulu. As women, gays, lesbian, transgenders, queers, and gender nonconformists, we are tired of bearing the brunt of abuse at the hand of these vile men. So, Professor Peterson, please protect us. Protect us from the Tato blocks of this institution. To protect us from the Lando Jacks of this institution. And when you do that, we will thank you.
As Embrace a Sister, ours is to be the middleman between the institution and the students. But we see that the measures in place are not what's being demonstrated in implementation. So we get first-hand experience with these survivors, and we learn that the culture of protecting the perpetrator is becoming more and more prevalent, and the silencing of survivors further victimizes them. Now, in our quest to name and shame these perpetrators, we do not do it for political gain or any malice. Instead, we are attacking the notion of the perpetrator being protected and the stigmatization and the victimization our fellow survivors are often faced with. Our activism exists because our system fails us. We are tired of the culture of victimization. We will no longer allow the silencing of victims and the protection of perpetrators, so that even those that even think of doing these atrocious acts think twice about it. Our concern is that although these policies and these measures that the university have put in place make sense in theory, the implementation is one of a very insensitive and a victimizing manner. For instance, one of our survivors was raped at 3 a.m. in the morning, had to wait until 8 a.m. for Kopsi Health to open. When she went to Kopsi Health, they didn't give her a rape kit and they didn't give her counseling, so she was sent to come to us. The second one was when she went to go to report a rape crime at Protection Services, and they looked at her weave and they asked what she was wearing as if that was an invitation to be raped. So these are the kind of issues we want to tackle as Embrace a Sister. There are other instances that we could also mention. Our aim is that students come to Embrace a Sister because of the institution's failure to handle these issues appropriately. So we call for the removal of perpetrators from our environment and counsel our survivors through these traumatic experiences, because it has lifelong psychological effects that stems within them. It doesn't stem from within them, pardon me. We call on the institution to prioritize such students and their well-being thereof. These men that behave like predators on our campus are a detriment to the student population. And by allowing their presence, we condone and we insinuate that the social ills are a norm on our campus. We don't want to remove perpetrators because we have a hate for men, but we emphasize the prioritization of our survivors and their well-beings. Perpetrators mustn't be seen as superior and survivors as inferior, and this is what we mean by gender equality. Institutions of higher learning must contradict the narrative that women must play supporting roles in society. For instance, our newly elected SRC president body has only 2 women representatives on the elective side. This inequality influences how students perceive gender roles and furthers the persistence of gender inequality in our institution. We as Embrace a Sister want equality, and unfortunately, we're not here to discuss equality, we're here to enforce equality. We want equal gender representation in the SRC body, in university associations, and the rectorate. We even want equal representation in the university council. Once we have achieved this, we will then teach women that enter this campus that the narratives of women playing supportive roles are now null and void. This will also be a practical example of the evolution of society. In the same breath, we then call for the same thing to be done with impaired and differently abled students on our campus. Because as the average woman, we face triple the oppression, but in being differently able, we face quadruple the oppression. So as Embrace a Sister, we call for the following changes in the institution. Firstly, we want a 24-hour doctor that is sensitized to issues of gender-based violence. We want the university to have a special unit dedicated solely to the prevention and the investigation of gender-based violence. We want the university to enforce gender parity in the SRC, in the council, academic management, and overall structures in the university. Protection services must be sensitized to issues that affect women. We call for the inclusivity and accessibility of all impaired students. Such needs to be prioritized in our institution. We need to prioritize such issues so that future generations discuss progressive issues such as the economy, technology, combating poverty, amongst a conglomerate of other things. We find it insane that we are still discussing issues such as gender equality in 2018, issues that should have been done away with along with apartheid a long time ago. As Embrace a Sister, we want to see confident women in this institution. We want the University of Free State to be the epitome of gender equality in this unequal society. And in order for that to be done, we can no longer only discuss gender equality on platforms such as these. We must begin to enforce gender equality. Discussions have reaped no results, hence we must do away with them and start with the execution. In closing, we as the students of the University of Free State should aim to leave the institution better than when we found it. The policies of the University of Free State are excellent. They could be better, but they suffice. Our main problem is the implementation. We cannot report rape and be told we deserve it because of our weaves. Policies cannot be moving us forward while the implementation takes us 10 steps back. Professor Peterson, protect us. Protect us from the Tato blocks of this institution. Protect us from the Lwando Jacks of this institution. And when you do, we will thank you.
A round of applause for the beautiful ladies. Now, if you guys have any comments or questions, do raise your hand. Anybody? Any takers? Okay, another round of applause for the Embrace the Sister Sisters.
We are not here to discuss safety. We are here to enforce. Power, 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 power. By the way, we have beanies and scarves. I know that winter is over and stuff like that, but it's still coming. Nah, it's still coming, so you must be prepared and ready. Must be prepared and ready.
Okay, so question number 2. Mash, what's question number 2? For 100 Rand voucher. So you're going to get 100 Rand voucher. Do you have a question? Let me get...
Oh, you have a question? Okay.
Okay, I think that someone has a question.
Hi, my question is for the detective, or I think he said is a Captain A so and
Silius,
so.
yeah.
Silius, yeah. You know, he spoke about how his unit takes rape seriously, and that if a rape is reported, they 24-hour available. They are 24 hours available. They go to the place, they speak to the complainant, they take the complainant to the hospital at that time, and things of that nature. We just heard something which is quite disturbing about a lady being raped at 3 a.m. and none of that stuff happening that the detective talks about. So my question is, all of those things, do they happen all over the place throughout the country? Or are they just localized? But most importantly, are those services available on the campus? So if a lady or whoever calls or reports rape or something of that nature, are those services available? Or do I have to go to a police station downtown off campus for those services to be available to me? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Silius?
I have a question. Please just ask your question once again. I'm so sorry for the inconvenience. And then we have a captain who's going to answer your question.
Oh, okay.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm Captain Jones. I'm the sector commander here in Sector 3. Yes, we have a lot of problems here. Crime, yo. When this ladies talk, I think crime the whole day. I not even sleep in night because I'm worried. I'm not stay on the campus, but I'm worried about the crime. Believe me, some of you see me a lot of time here, up and down, not at home. What I can say is what happened here is when that things happen of rape on the campus, what is a very bad thing, then off campus, they report it to this security place here. After that, they will take him to the police station. Now I can tell you in the police station, there's a victim empowerment room. This, I said every case must be handled professional. But this cases of rape is very sensitized. It's very bad. I see the people when they come at the police station, I can tell you it doesn't look good. Really, it doesn't look good. All of you know sometimes some of the ladies that get raped after few months, they kill themselves. It happened. So it will happen when it is at the station, it is report here and they take you to the police station, you go to the victim empowerment room, there's a special room for that. Also for victims. And after that, they will call this unit to come in and they're going to handle you. They will never let a male ask questions to a female or a female ask questions to a male. Like I said, we are very sensitized about it. But please, if it happened with you and you're not satisfied how you was handled, please report it. It must be reported. I always say, and I'm telling the students a lot of time, don't let me see you in the street and you tell me the police is useless, the police don't do the work. I'm telling you, here I am standing with this uniform. I do my job. And that is why I'm here, to do my job. Not to get promotion, not for money. If you're in police for money, you can go. You're not going to get money, a lot of money in police. That's why some of the police members get criminals, because they want to live there. Hi. But we are here to serve you. That is our job. That is why we are here. And I hope for the time I'm also here, I will make a difference. I can see, and I'm telling you, from my side, I can see the university and the police, the university management and the police work hand in glove to solve to help us to fight the crime. Thank you very much.
Any more questions? Okay, so another round of applause for the beautiful ladies. Now, I have a question for you guys, and the answer gives you 100 Rand Fun Sky voucher. What is the name of the organization that Esihle is coming from? What's your name?
Embrace a sister.
Yay. Well done.
How do people get in contact with you guys and your numbers and the organization if they want to help?
And where can they find you?
Okay, you can get a hold of us. Check our Facebook page. All our details are over there. You can also come to me personally because I'm the secretary of the organization. You can come to me personally for membership forms. We'll explain the procedures and everything, how we function as an organization. You can check us out on Twitter, and we embrace a sister at UFS AC.za.
Thank you very much.
Once again, thank you. And for those who've just joined, this is the Safety Week. It is all about you standing here. It is not even about any other thing. So if you have queries, if you have issues, if you have questions, don't be afraid to ask, because what we're doing here is for you guys. If you guys are not satisfied, voice out your problems, voice out what you want to change, voice out how you think the university should handle certain situations. But for now, here is another favorite.
Another favorite. Hey. Question.
Hi guys, hi again. I think this one is for a representative of the university, or more specifically of the security services, I think is what they call it, right? So we understand that SAPS has certain protocol and procedures in place, and they do this and they do that, and it's all good, right? But the complaint was about security services that we heard today. Thus, the university security services have the same measures in place as SAPS, because, for example, it simply means there's a disjointment between what the university does and what the police do, right? The security services is basically the middleman here. And if security services fails, it means the entire system fails, So what is the university going to do to ensure that the university protocol is in line with SAP's protocol, so that we can have a more efficient and better system? The same thing they said, women help women, men help men in rape cases. Do we do that here? Or is it only at SAPs? Thanks.
Thank you again for that question. Now, we're going to have a representative from Protection Services on campus. So if you have any questions like my brother over here, just jot it down on your phone memo or somewhere so that you don't forget it. And when the representative is on the podium,
Yes.
you're going to have your time to ask them whatever question that you have. But for now, we're going to carry on with Mr. T. Mahlatsi, all the way from
Next chapter.
Mental Health.
Yes. Next chapter, please just come through.
Okay, hi everyone. Mr. T. Mahlatsi is not here. They have a provincial meeting at Mediclinic, I think, for mental health with our chairperson. So I will be introducing next chapter, and if they don't get here after the introduction, then I will continue talking about mental health and safety. Okay, so let's get to it. Okay, next chapter is basically mental health for students, in a nutshell. Our objectives are as follows. I will state our objective, and then I will sort of give an idea of how we are doing that currently, because a lot of people have been saying that they don't see us. So we will cover that. Okay, the first objective is to equip... Oh, wait, did I introduce myself? Oh, sorry, I'm so sorry, manners. My name is Precious Lisupi. I am part of the advocacy committee of Next Chapter, and I work internationally and nationally with mental health advocacy. So that's sorted. Thank you. Okay. First objective, to equip students and learners with different and easy tools to deal with different issues relating to mental health, and also equip them to be mental health advocates. We do this via conferences that we are invited to, workshops that we attend, workshops that we do. We do this via campaigns, and by giving you easy tools to deal with your mental health issues. If we can't help you because we're students, we're not professional psychologists, then we refer you to people who can help you. If you do not want a professional psychologist, then we'll give you contacts of whoever you need. If you want a spiritual healer, if you want a pastor, then we'll provide the contacts for you. If you want a mind, body, and soul healing person, then we'll provide the contacts for you. So that is what we do. Okay, and then reducing the stigma towards people living with mental health illnesses so that students will feel more comfortable seeking for help when it is needed and openly discussing mental health related issues. Okay, so what we do is we talk about these things so that it does not become a thing where in black communities they'll be like, hey, it's witchcraft, don't talk about it, you know. So what we need to do is openly talk about this. When you see that somebody is crying, go to them and openly talk about them. We're trying to make it comfortable for that person to be able to say, yo, fam, I've been depressed for the past I don't know how long, and I don't know what to do with it. We're trying to be able to get people to call us and say, I am in a situation right now, I need you guys' help. We'll get there. Our membership forms right now have addresses so that if anyone has an emergency, we are there. Because sometimes 10-111 doesn't work, and then you guys need us, right? So yeah, that's why we're there. We just need people to be comfortable to come to us and say, guys, I have an exam tomorrow. I am having multiple anxiety attacks, and then we will help you. But remember, we're not professional psychologists, okay? So we can't like give you pills and admit you and stuff, but we can help the best way we know how. Okay, and then the other one is promoting a general awareness of self-health by emphasizing techniques that care for the body as well as the mind. Okay, so what we probably all know is that whatever affects you psychologically is going to affect your physical well-being, right? For instance, if you're going to be depressed, you're going to stay in your house, you're going to be lazy, you're going to eat a lot, and you're going to get tired, you're going to be like totally exhausted the whole time. So what we're trying to do is we're trying, in our peer sessions and workshops and our virtual groups and so on, we sort of give tips on how to take care of yourself, how to identify what is the one thing that you need to deal with first, and so on. Okay. Next, to empower students by providing them with multiple platforms to express their mental health concerns, namely group sessions, blog entries, and other online platforms, seminars, dialogues, and social events. Okay, with this, we have a Facebook page, Next Chapter, Twitter at Next Chapter OCT, and Instagram Next Chapter YSC. And we recently just started a YouTube channel where we have our media personnel has a playlist of those songs that we need when we're down and out, a playlist of those sort of mini tutorials to educate you about what bipolar is, what ADHD is, what OCD is, because these things have a lot of abbreviations and they have difficult titles. So we're trying to get people, to give people a platform to talk about their issues. Hopefully our media person will soon have a blog where if you're a writer and that's how you express yourself, then you can just put it out there, you know? Okay, and then the last one, to form a platform which focuses specifically on the causes and effects of mental health at university and schools, while seeking to provide feasible solutions and assistance to students through governmental institutions having shared interest in the student counseling and development in the country. So what we're trying to do, like I said, our founder and chairperson are at some provincial meeting to speak about mental health. What we're trying to do is we're trying to take this thing nationally and internationally. We're going to an international conference in October where we're going to engage with all these international organizations and get solutions on how we can help students with their mental health. We're meeting with provincial people, the Department of Health, the Federations for Mental Health, to get solutions to help students with mental health. Okay. So in a nutshell, that is what Next Chapter is about. We're a bunch of students just trying to help you with your mental health. Any questions before I get to mental health and safety?
Hi. I'd like to ask, in terms of you mentioned that you guys are not professional psychologists, no psychiatrists and whatnot.
Yeah,
I want to know how you test authenticity when it comes to a student who comes and reports about not being mentally well to write the next day or something like that. Because what we don't want is people taking advantage of this and then it closing channels for people that really do need help.
Okay, you see, the most fortunate thing about that case is that we do not have the power to tell you to miss a test. You understand? So if you come to us and you're like, yo guys, I'm not well and I have a test tomorrow, I don't think I can make it. We try and find a person who has authority who can help you. That's where we try and get you an emergency session at the Student Counseling and Development Center. And if you're not authentic about that, then I believe that the Student Counseling and Development Center has the capabilities to identify authenticity. So we're not going to tell you, fam, don't miss your test. No. What we can do, for instance, last week, most of us had a lot of assignments, and we wouldn't say, guys, don't do this assignments because you're not okay. No, what we did, we came in as a group and did one assignment together, finished it, submitted, did another one, finished, so we worked together. But we do not have the authority to tell you to miss your test because we're not going to give you a doctor's letter because, like I said, we're not professionals. Okay.
Oh, hello, Precious. My question is, as far as mental health awareness is involved, and what do you call it? Your thingy kana? Next Chapter is involved. How has the university been trying to meet you halfway with regards to raising awareness?
I will try not to lie. Okay. Well, guys, university is based on protocol, right? We've been having meetings. We had a meeting with the rector about last week, I think. And to get to that meeting was a hassle because of protocol. So we are trying our best to get the university to work with us. We are trying our best for the psychology department to give us their master's students to attend our sessions and help us with our sessions. It's going rough, but we are trying our best to get there.
Good afternoon. There was a guy last week who works with the SRC people who was trending for hitting his girlfriend. I'd just like some update on what happened to him, because if he's not getting reprimanded or punished, everything here falls apart.
I think the protection services would answer that. I'm next chapter. We work with mental health awareness. Yes, sir. Okay, so anyone gonna answer that for protection services? Yeah, cause yeah. Oh, okay.
I heard you talking about bipolar, ADD, etc., etc. But there's also something called unipolar. Do you guys also give counseling for that? Because I've been recently diagnosed with this unipolar, and I'm struggling to kind of understand it or deal with it. So do you guys also give counseling for that?
Okay, like I said before, counseling, professional psychologist, right? But we can refer you. Okay, thing is, there is over 400 mental health illnesses that we know about. That people who work in these organizations know about, you understand? I, for one, have been diagnosed with about 9, you understand? And we can't counsel you on that. We can help you when you're having a situation. That's where our workshops come in, where we get trained to help a person who is having an anxiety attack, have a person who's having a manic episode, have a person who wants to attempt suicide, you understand? Temporary help, so that while we get somebody professional to come in, at least we still have you here, you know? So I really can't say counseling, because counseling is for professionals. So yes, our leadership is here. Before I get them here to talk about mental health and safety, we're having a suicide awareness campaign coming soon, because September is suicide prevention month. The 10th is suicide prevention day. We're having a suicide awareness campaign. We will be going to Mimosa and Waterfront. I believe we all know what happened at Waterfront recently. In the institution, the UFS itself, we lost about 4 students in one semester to suicide. In CUT, there's been like about 3 in a month. So we're raising awareness about that. We'll be going everywhere. If you want to join Next Chapter, our table is here. We have membership forms there. We can get you in. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And coming up next is the CEO, as I like to call him, Mr. CEO of Next Chapter, Mr. T. Mahlatsi. Thank you.
For all those who've just joined now, like my brother over there who was asking questions about what Protection Services is doing with the cases on campus and everything, we're going to have a spokesperson directly from the Protection Services, right? So all the questions regarding the violence, the rape, the crime on campus that Protection Services has to deal with, please redirect it to the speaker. We're gonna announce when the speaker is here. But now here is to Mr. T.
Hola, how's it? Hi everyone, I'm really sorry for being late. We just from another meeting, so we came here rushing. I don't know what has been said about Next Chapter, but what I'll be doing is just to say this association is for you as students. This association was found solely to say to students your mental health matters. And most of the time there's something that we neglect. All of us, we push academic excellence. All of us, we push to be strong in sports, arts, whatever that you may mention, leadership. But there's one aspect of our lives that we always forget, and that is your mental well-being. So time and again when we speak, and even from the meeting that we formed, we mentioned that the universities are toxic. Students are dying day in and day out, and students are going to continue to do so if there's no intervention that is put in place. The intervention in Safety Week, we are talking about what? We are talking about the support services that are there, your counseling support services. We are talking about the accessibility to psychologists. We are talking about your accessibility to counselors. That is the most key area of every student who's at the university, because course is real. Course is chawin that we know. we are not surviving. We are barely just in jail, trying to survive. So, but now, more importantly, as next chapter, we want to say, we are here for you. We are not professionals. We are just students who are trying to say to you, if you cannot access the support services, come join us. Let's have an engagement. Every Tuesday, we have the sessions where we talk about all other issues that are affecting you, from your love life, of which it is a problem, to your finances, to your personal development. So that's what next chapter does. So I will be giving to the incoming chairperson who's sponsor, or the chairperson of next chapter who's sponsor, to just tell us briefly as to what's lined up this semester. And I hope she's going to mention the issue of #continue, which is a campaign that is going to raise awareness on suicide. And I would like to believe all the stakeholders that are here, every student and student leader, they are going to invest on it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. Before I speak, I'd like to say thank you so much for finding this conversation necessary and important. Because as Tabang mentioned that students are dying every day. And as an association that claims to advocate for mental health, the bigger question is, what are we doing as that association? And to answer that question, Tabang, I'm going to speak about the meeting that we just came from right now. We are in conversation with the Department of Health. They have a mental health forum. We are just from that meeting right now to see what it is that we can do, particularly to students at university level, to help you access mental health institutions much more easier. We have a #continue, which is a suicide campaign coming up. I don't know if that was already mentioned. This campaign is to say that because within just like last week and the past weeks, about 4 students have committed suicide at universities. That's why Taban said the university is very toxic. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to have a voice. We're trying to find relevance in places where mental health is put under the carpet. But as the chairperson, what I always say in closing is that for you to be a part of next chapter, you don't have to have anxiety, you don't have to have depression, you don't have to, have bipolar or anything like that. Next chapter is open for each and every person who makes the decision to advocate for an issue that people want to keep silent. So in closing, I want to say, as I always say, as we go through the many fears of our life, I hope that we have enough courage to face those fears. Thank you so much. From next chapter.
Another round of applause for the chairperson, Mr. T and Precious, all from next chapter. Do you guys have any other questions? Can you hear me?
Mash. Hello, Ren.
Are you good, Mash?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm very informed right now.
I am. Hey, I'm actually glad we're having this because I didn't know about next chapter and sisters.
Embrace a sister.
Embrace a sister. My bad. But this is actually a good platform for us to learn all about these things.
And the one thing I always say is that you need to take care of yourself and take care of the person next to you.
That's true.
Because as much as people might be strong, certain people go through things that you might not know. So if you know you have a friend or you're suspecting that your friend is going through something rough, just if you talk to them and they are a bit closed off because it's very touchy, because people can be very sensitive with what they're going through.
Yeah, that's true.
Just go to next chapter and ask them how you can help your friend,
Yeah.
The last thing we want is, because our parents send us here to get degrees, not to come back and get us in body bags,
Hey.
Yeah, so we're giving away freebies, but they're not really free.
They're not really free. You have to work for these. We have a question. Nah. You see, if you get this one right, I don't know. You deserve what? A scarf with a beanie. Imagine. Okay. The next question is, what is the 24-hour emergency number for protection services? Just no cheating. Listen, this is not an open book test.
Mesh, ask
but
another
it is-
question.
Okay, I feel like we need to move on to
We
another
need to be
question.
fair. Your squad can't be the only squad walking out here with prizes. But look at this funny most How? But look at this funny Hi.
Okay, the next question is, if you need counseling on campus, where do you go? Hela. Chesama girl. Huh?
Mesh.
Already you are giving me the gift. How do you know?
They probably read it somewhere.
Oh, okay. Where do you go? The professionals. The professionals.
Stop giving hints. Stop giving hints. La ropa.
They say it's student counseling and development.
No, my darling. No, my darling. No.
We've got Mr. from next chapter here. Oh, sorry.
We also have a lady over there, Kukoning.
Oh.
Where? Oh, Kiole.
Oh, okay.
What's our next chapter, Pili?
It's fine. I can't answer.
Why? Why can't you answer?
How? Come on.
Even me, I don't know. Hello, what's your name?
Lihle.
Lihle, nice to meet you, Lihle. Yes, do you have an answer for us?
Govsi Health.
Govsi Health?
Yay! There you go. You see what happens, Hausa Kopi? You see? Copy. You get answers right. Mara because ra copy sana. And we cheat.
And it was even teamwork.
But you take a squad. But collect all the freebies.
Honestly, I am disappointed.
But collect.
I see them. I see them.
Okay. The next one is gonna be fun. Because you guys have been answering questions, how about we have a dance? I mean,
are y'all ready?
Batung.
Are y'all ready? Okay, there we go. You know what they say about people that dance sitting down? Obvious. Obvious. So Yasin, I don't want to jump into conclusions and say that you guys can't dance. Come and show me here. Hey yo!
Hey!
Sheva!
Show us how to dance.
And I feel like we should hit it with the people's favorite. Don't you think? Some gloom up in this building. It's not even a building.
Next chapter. Hello. Hello. Please tell me what you're doing with that. What's Allah? What is this for?
It's supposed to be like a selfie, some. But everybody's shy to take a selfie with the next chapter part.
There you have taken.
Yeah. Takers. Okay, I'm gonna walk around, okay? Can I walk around? Everybody? Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna play Ikom. Okay, I don't know if I pronounced that right. And then baka ebo majaivan. Kore lo sa tsebo jaivan mara o tseba mover. Guys, I have so many freebies. I get to be getting katsona. So lona ha le sa di batle, ke di se kae? You guys are gonna sing. Okay, come through and sing or dance, or if you have any other talent, poetry, or if you have an organization, guys, on campus. If you have an organization on campus that helps students, you're more than welcome to come tell us about it. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys a chance to prepare yourselves. Yeah. But come up with a sick choreography. Because I'm so sorry to cut you off, Nam. We have Miss Geraldine Lechau. Yes. Nam, who is going to talk to us
about gender and sexual equality.
Yes, this has been one of gender violence has been one of the problems that a lot of students have been complaining and raving about.
Yeah.
So Miss G Utlotla, and if you have any questions about what she's going to talk to us about, feel free to ask.
So be ready. Oh, now you know how to hit the vosh.
Good afternoon, colleagues. Hi. Can I just get something right? Colleagues, my surname is not Lechau. It's Lingau. Thank you. So just remember Lingau from Mangau. Okay, so colleagues, I'm Geraldine Lingau and I'm the Gender and Sexual Equity Officer. I had gone to the South Campus at one point and I was introduced as the gay and lesbian lady. So no, I'm not the gay and lesbian lady. I'm Geraldine Lingau, the Gender and Sexual Equity Officer. Right there, I just want to point out our mandate as an office, and that is to primarily advocate and to create activism around gender-based violence, around what happens in our minority groups. So that is primarily our focus. Yes, when we have got LGBTQ complaints, they can come via our office. We have liaised with the Directorate for Student Mediation. So a lot of people are asking about the SRC member, what happened to him. Colleagues, we need to observe a very strict level of professionalism. We cannot be exposing people's names and where the processes and the procedures are. But so that you are on par with what is happening, the Directorate for Student Mediation is handling that matter. On that as well, I just want to say, when we had the workshop on the sexual harassment and misconduct policy, there's a mechanism that has been placed in that policy that makes matters of sexual assault or the reporting thereof better for students. And that is the fact that the varsity has established a SART team. What SART stands for is Sexual Assault Response Team. So on the team at the moment, there are only 2 coordinators, that being myself and Me Elizabeth Msadu, who is the social worker for this campus. So what we do is that whenever there's a sexual assault matter that is reported, we are basically walking the survivor a path. And note, we don't say victim but survivor because we are survivors. So we walk the survivor a path in that, 1, you will go to protection services, report your case with us at hand. When you go to Tepong or when you go to SEPS, I beg your pardon, you go to SEPS first to open a statement. We go with you there. When you go to Tepong, we are with you there. When you come back to campus to go and see a psychologist, we are with you there. And then furthermore, what we do is that we need to obviously report to management. So we look at you in a holistic view, i.e. your academics. Were you writing? Were you about to submit an assignment? And as a result of this, which has occurred, you are unable to. If the answer is yes, then obviously we liaise with the lecturers and your departments. So that is what we do in a nutshell as the coordinators or the sexual assault response team. So it's not to say that there has been a policy, but it's not effective. It is effective because there are those measures in place. I was asked to address why your safety is important. And from the GSE office, I just want to highlight one or two things. Firstly, I think it's about time we create a safe space in how we speak. And what I mean is that language can become a bit of an issue that can also cause discrimination. You know, how we address people with different gender markers is an issue. You know, we know that there are certain terms that we cannot use to address another individual. So tomorrow on the 6th of September, here at the Cecil Library in the reading area, we have got our second conversation. And in this conversation, we are addressing the violence that occurs in sexual minority groups. So you and I know that usually when there's a rape case, it will be amongst heterosexuals. So it will be this guy raped this girl. But what happens in our lesbian communities? What happens in our gay communities? What happens when I'm a lesbian woman and I go to SAPS and I say, my partner has raped me? You know, how often do we speak about this, the violence that occurs in sexual minority groups? And obviously, alongside with that, the language we use when we address these issues. So for our office, it's important to observe that safety is not just in the physical, in that there are red buttons established, there is the protection services that you go to, but safety in how comfortable am I as a member of LGBTQ, as a non-conforming individual, to speak about who I am around other individuals, and not fear that once they hear or once they appreciate who I am, I'll be discriminated upon. Currently, our offices are situated at the Old Ritz, also known as Tutuka Houses, number 1D. We do have a Facebook page, the GSE office, or rather GSE UFS. We have a Twitter page as well. And yeah, I look forward to having you guys at the conversations. And yes, by the way, our office is very intentional. We don't do catering because we realize that once you advertise food, then the colleagues, they come for the food and they don't come for the meaningful conversations. And we all know you're about to leave this place to become professionals, and then the workplace, they're not going to give you food for your input. So please do come through to our conversations. We'd like to hear what your inputs are. And also, another thing I need to mention is that our office does not only advocate for LGBTQ. So many a times people feared to come and partake because they were like, okay, I'm not lesbian, I'm not gay, what am I going to say? But there are allies. I mean, there's a very long acronym to the LGBTQ community. And we can all partner in this. So thank you. I don't know if you have questions for me. If you do, let me answer them. You want to be able to volunteer? I have already advertised for volunteers, but that's not the end. Please submit your CV or come through to our offices, and then we'll talk. We'll talk. All right. Yes, sir?
More often than not, your office particularly deals with physical violence, right? But now there are a whole host of violences that occur on this campus. Number one could be verbal, second one could be actually emotional. So are those cases still dealt with in your office, specifically those two?
Like I said, yes, we do. So it's not, we're not limited to violent cases only. For example, I'll use an actual case that happened, but I'll be very hypothetical about it. So there was a case in one of our campuses where there was an LGBTQ matter or an LGBTQ discrimination. And it was not violent. It was just people using very derogatory language. And when we found out who it was, the people came through and they said, but we were joking, you know, we wanted to silence them. And that matter has gone to the Student Mediation Directorate Unit. So it's just to show that we don't only deal with matters that are violent, but like I said, language can also be an issue, or can it be a barrier that enforces people to discriminate. So yes.
Any more questions, guys?
Thank you.
Mrs. Lengau. Yay! So, as promised, it's Katsok Chiva. Ngiyabona
Ni ready. Okay.
Isikhathi sokujiva.
Masenze kanje.
Isikhathi sokujiva. Bapho amajiva. Woza girl. Ngiyabona. Woza. Come show me what you made of, honey. Woza. Udlala ngani? Udlala ngani? Udlala ngani? Guys. Yeah. Idla. Asambe. Oh yeah. Woza girl. Woza. Tell you for you. Unfortunately. Yebo. Hayi, ungasondlala ngayo. Yebo. Hayi, wo. Someone else that wants to dance. Never. Guys, I'm pretty sure. Guy with the yellow shirt, Nakon. Somebody.
Yazi, it's written all over your face, but Majaivas. I see it.
The rest of the crew. Oh, you were wet. If you can do better than that, you're gonna win yourself
I'm a hero. I am a hero.
Hi, Osha. Okay, back to it. From the Student Counseling and Development, we have Miss M. Utwa.
Thank you very much, Miss Udwa. Musa.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Musa. I'm from Student Counseling and Development. Basically, I'm here to talk about mental health and just to give you mental health awareness. So basically, mental health involves our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It affects how we feel, how we think, and how we act. It also helps determine how we handle stress, how we relate to others, as well as how we make certain choices. So it's very important to realize that mental health matters from childhood to adolescence to adulthood. So over the course of your life, if you experience mental health problems, your thinking, your mood, your behavior could be affected. Many factors also contribute to mental health problems. Those include biological factors, so that can be genes or your brain chemistry. Life experiences, such as experiencing trauma or abuse, can also contribute to our mental health problems, as well as having a family history of mental health problems. It's important to realize that as common as mental health problems are, help is available. So people with mental health problems can eventually get help. So I just want to share with you a few facts about mental health. I think I'll share about 4. The first fact is that mental health, or rather mental and substance use disorders, are the cause of disability worldwide. And then fact number 2, which is something very important, is that about 800,000 people commit suicide every single year. So over 800,000 people die due to suicide every year, and suicide is the second leading cause of death in 15 to 29-year-olds. So that is even, university student population. There's also indications that for each adult that has died of suicide, there may have been 20 more attempting suicide. So this is a very, alarming stats that we have. Also, fact number 3, which is also very important, is that stigma and discrimination against patients and families with people that living with mental health issues, those prevent people from seeking mental health care. So the misunderstanding and stigma surrounding mental ill health is very widespread, and I think that's something that we need to work together to raise awareness. Despite the existence of effective treatments that we have for mental use disorders, there's still a belief that mental health or mental health disorders are untreatable, or people living with the disorders are difficult, they're not intelligent, or they're incapable of making decisions, of mental or skilled mental health resources. So there is a shortage of psychiatrists, of psychiatric nurses, of psychologists like myself, as well as social workers. So this is not a problem that we're only experiencing on our campus, but it's an issue worldwide. So what can you do? How do you identify a person that might have mental health issues? So if you're not sure that somebody's living with mental health issues, I just want to give you a few pointers of certain behaviors or feelings that can be early warning signs of a problem. The first one that could be a sign of a problem is eating and sleeping too much or eating and sleeping too little. The second one is pulling away from people and usual activities that you used to enjoy. Having low energy or no energy to do anything at all. Feeling numb or feeling like nothing matters. Having unexplained aches and pains. Feeling helpless, feeling hopeless. Smoking, drinking, or using drugs more than usual. Feeling unusually confused, forgetful, worried, upset, angry, scared. Picking unnecessary fights with loved ones, yelling and fighting with them. Experiencing severe mood swings that lead to relationship difficulties. Having persistent thoughts and persistent memories that you can't get out of your head. Hearing voices or believing things that are not true. And then thinking of harming yourself or thinking of harming other people. So those are just a few mental, or just rather early warning signs that a person could have a problem. So if you realize that, that's something that rings true about you, I think it's important to, be aware of that. And then also, as a university and university population, we've realized that people are very stressed. So I just want to give some tips to effectively manage and reduce your stress levels. First of all, the first step that I would say is to avoid caffeine, avoid alcohol, avoid nicotine. Or at least just to reduce your consumption. So a lot of people, you'll buy Red Bull or Monster or all these energy drinks. Those, increase your stress levels. It's not helpful at all. So it would be better if you could swap that with a bottle of water, with herbal teas, with natural fruit juices, and keep yourself hydrated. Caffeine and nicotine are stimulants, so those will definitely increase your level of stress rather than reducing it. The second one is exercise. It's very important to indulge in physical activity. Physical activity helps you get rid of stress hormones such as cortisol, such as adrenaline. So if you engage in physical exercise, that can help to get rid of these stress hormones. And then also regular physical activity can help you, you know, with your quality of sleep. So it can definitely improve sleep quality. Number 3 is to get more sleep. We know that varsity students love to, you know, cross night, what you call cross nighting. That does not help with the stress levels. It actually just increases stress levels. So it's important to try to get regular hours of sleep and not undersleep or oversleep. Also trying relaxation techniques. Lots of things work for different people, so you can go on the internet and Google relaxation techniques and see which ones you can try and which ones will work for you. Number 5 is talking to someone. Talking is very important because that's when you talk to somebody else that might give a different perspective to whatever is stressing you about. And then also the last one is learning how to manage your time. Time management is very important in reducing and managing stress. If you know that you've got an exam, if you know that you've got tests and assignments coming up, doing them on the last day just adds to your already stressful university life. So it would be important that you manage your time effectively. Set up a timetable and work according to it. And then also, just before I go, I would just like to share some, you know, information regarding if you've got mental health issues, you know, contact details that, you know, numbers that you can call or places that you can go to. The first one is SADAG, which is the South African Depression and Anxiety Group. They've got a suicide emergency line. So if you know of anyone that is suicidal, or if you yourself, you can actually call them on a toll-free number is 0800 567 567. I'll say it again, 0800 567 567. They also have a 24-hour helpline, which is 0800 12 13 and 14. They also have counselors that you can talk to over the phone, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Sundays, or rather Monday to Sunday. And you can call them on 011 234 4837. Alternatively, you can also, if you're experiencing an emergency during the night or over the weekend or after working hours, you can contact or rather go to casualties at National Hospital here in Bloemfontein. So any public hospital should you not have medical aid. And then you can also come to us at Student Counseling and Development. Our number is 051 401 2853. It's 051 401 2853. In order to make an appointment, you have to go into the center and you'll be required to fill out some forms, and then we can try to help you from there. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any questions? Okay.
Okay. With the Student and Counseling Development Center,
Yes.
right? I know that it's available for students, and you get, I think, 6 free sessions with that, right?
That is untrue.
How many sessions?
As many as you need.
Oh, okay. But then the problem with that is when you go there with an emergency, usually like they take long to have available spaces. So I just want to know, what other alternatives do you guys have in order to combat that? Because I'll go today and then they tell me, no, you need to come. We have an opening on the 5th of October. You
Okay,
understand?
yes.
So I just want to know, how are you actively working to combat such challenges?
I cannot answer for management, but what I do know is that we literally 5 psychologists to a population of an entire university. Hence, I gave you other contact details, you know, other places that you can contact, like SADAG, like going to the emergency department at National Hospital should you experience, emergencies and we can't help you. Usually what we ask is that if a student is experiencing an emergency, you have to let us know, open up and don't just be vague about what's bothering you so that we can make alternative plans. We're trying to also get private psychologists, we can refer you to those if possible. So yeah, we're really trying our best. Is that all?
Hi.
Hi.
I have a question. I'm not speaking as next chapter. I'm speaking as Precious right now.
Okay.
I have a question. So I want to know if it is like sort of procedure, if one has a really bad emergency, to be forced to go to like your Bloom Cares and your Ranyas and your hospitals, because I was there this one time and I had like a really extreme emergency, and I was sort of being forced to go to hospital to be admitted there. And for me, hospitals in itself are a contribution to my mental health. You understand? So I want to know, because after that, I was like, yo, I'm never coming back here. And I don't think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
You know.
But I think that is your personal experience, right? We try to do our best. If we see that somebody's going through, a mental breakdown or an emergency, it's our duty to make sure that your safety comes first. So we cannot, just let you be and then after that it comes back to us and say that we did nothing. Okay, so at the end of the day, you still have the right to say no, you don't want to.
So basically, in a school of 15 to 20,000 plus students, right? Do you think it's ethical to have just 6 or 5 of you guys working at a time? And what are you guys now doing about it? Like she said that if we went out today, they tell you that we have opening when in October, and that's because you guys are understaffed, right? So what are you guys now doing about being understaffed to get
I think I answered your question regarding that the shortage is not just here on this campus. We've got a shortage of psychiatrists, psychiatric nurses. We've got a shortage of psychologists. We've got a shortage of, social workers as well. So the shortage that we are experiencing is not just here on this campus. It's a global shortage. Hence, what I did now is that I try to give alternative contact sources that you can go to while, the issue of being understaffed is being addressed at this point. So we understand the frustration. We know that it is an issue. Hence, I gave you alternatives. Also, when you come to student counseling and you need a, immediate session, we can refer you to private psychologists, but, that is also either medical aid or you need to pay cash. So we are doing the best that we can with the resources that we have, but they're definitely looking into it.
Any other questions? Thank you very much.
Okay, so if you've just joined us, we're talking all things safety, and we
Student Counseling and Development Office situated on the Bloemfontein campus. Sorry.
Okay, so we are 1, 2, 3, 4. So because it's 4 people, the first. Your hand was up first.
Yes. Do you have an answer for us? Pardon? Wait.
Basketball fields. But is it the tennis fields or the basketball fields?
That's correct.
Courts.
Now pedestrians and drivers. No, it's not look to the left, it's not look to the right, it's not drive on the left. The golden rule for pedestrians and drivers. Doesn't work. No. It's right. Respect the rules of the road. You must obey the rules of the P10. The rules. The rules are different. If you are looking down, baby. Exactly. No. So I don't know. I'm not the speaker, but I want to go buy pilots. No, we don't have a voucher. I want to go buy pilots. We have. Who next demand? Next chapter. Next chapter. Demand. Special kids. We have. I love the comeback. Okay, so I have 2 pens and a scarf and a beanie.
And listen, ningas as you know. It's test week. You're gonna need this.
They're very nice, very unique. Nobody will steal it. So okay, here's a question I have for you guys. It's really easy. It's really simple. That what station or frequency is Kopsi FM? What is Kopsi FM? What's the answer? I still have 2 pens. I still have 2 pens from Kopsigla. Where do people on campus report crimes or violences against other students? Where do people report crimes or violence against other students on campus? Okay, it's you then. What do you want? You also want something. Protection service. Yes. Give it 1 minute. Okay. honored being on stage. Oh, I see you. Right? What was the last speaker talking about? Mental awareness. Toxic counseling. Yay! Teamwork. No, it's fine. Okay. Like, I don't know what's going on with the next chapter. They're having chapters. You know? They're having chapters. But last on our speakers list, we are going to have Mr. N. Masalesa. So, if regarding, there was questions about violence on campus. There was questions about former SRC. There was questions about rape on campus. This is the person you can address with such questions.
What does he need? My body is not that audible.
Please come closer. Kindly. Oh yes, okay. Woo! The grand prize. The grand prize. We have goodies. Thank you, Kosik here. So the last goodie on the table.
Wait, are we giving this to one person or should we?
We're giving it. Maybe. Okay, let's do this. Give.
Okay.
Also, the bag is a gift.
Yeah, the bag is also a gift.
The bag is also a gift.
So if you want a bag, you know what to do.
Okay, so a very simple question I'm going to ask. What was handed out to the students by the police service with the rules on how to use this specific item? That guy was first. That guy was first.
Precious was first.
That guy was first.
Okay, yes, guys.
Yeah.
Woo, you get yourself a bag.
National Diary. Okay, so this is a pen set. So, what about the pen set? It's a diary. Precious, you're ungovernable. Ungovernable.
The 2019 diary.
Yeah. Okay, last one. Okay, wait. This one, we're going to give it away after Mr. Masalesa has spoken. Don't forget that all the questions regarding safety on campus, the allegation, the drama, the violence, here's your man.
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Good afternoon, everybody present here. As you already heard, my name is Nogo Masalesa. I'm the head of protection services for University of the Free State. So before I will do the closing remarks, I would just like to take you through some of our future plans with regard to improving safety and security for students. And I hope some of the points I'm going to raise here are going to address some of the questions that you might already have. So in the previous year, I think it's last year or so, there were some matches that students had to management, during which they handed some memorandums. And then one of the demands there was the issue of capacity for the investigators, to say it seems like there is not enough investigative capacity and all that. So what I can report back on that specific one is that we are appointing an extra investigating officer for Qwaqwa campus. So appointing an investigating officer for Qwaqwa campus will free the investigating officers that we have here to be able to focus on your cases. And then I also want to report to you that a process is underway to appoint an assistant director who will be responsible for off-campus safety, who will also be responsible for overseeing investigations with regard to cases that are reported, and who will also liaise with the police. So that position, the advertisement of that position has closed. So we are going to start with the shortlisting process in that regard. And then there was also a concern from the students, which we received through the SRC leadership, that as much as students want to participate in the community police forums, but going to the community police forum meetings, which are mainly off campus, is a challenge because of transport. So I had a discussion with the chairperson of the community policing forum to look at the possibility of extending the meetings to the campus. So he didn't reject that idea. And then that will also be attended to. And then we also received concerns from the student to say there seem not to be enough cameras. We have done an assessment on the campus in terms of the adequacy of the lighting, the adequacy of the cameras, and the adequacy of the panic buttons. And then we realized that there was indeed areas which needed to be enhanced. And then funding has been provided. A process is underway to put extra red poles that you can press when you feel vulnerable. And then hotspots in terms of areas which were not under surveillance are also being attended to. And then we also realized that there is some gap in our process. Because whenever we wanted to communicate, we were communicating through the SRC leadership. But we were not sure as to whether the message filters down to all the student community. And then we realized that a need exists to establish student safety collaboration forum. And in this forum, we are going to have representatives from different student formations. The next chapter will be represented, the Embrace a Sister will be represented, the different student formations from political organizations. We'll also see if we can get a way of having them represented there. And then we also agreed with the Dean of Student Affairs and the new SRC president that we need to be talking more and engaging more, as in protection services, the SRC and student affairs, in relation to issues of safety and security. One of the other demands that I still remember vividly is with regard to the capacity of our security officers to say they seem not to be at the right level in terms of training. And then we are in the process of taking our security officers to General Security Practice Certificate, which is a 1-year program. And then the process through the assistance of training and development of HR is underway. And then I can also brag that you might have seen that one of our students has just graduated in a master's degree. So now issue of personal development is seen on a very serious note from protection services. And the university also, through the pressure that we have put, has allowed to enroll some of our members at UNISA, because UFS and CUT don't offer safety and security related courses. So there was a challenge when our members wanted to enroll for further study. So 3 of our members are studying through UNISA as we are speaking. And then in doing an assessment for the residences, we also realized that it is very unsafe in that any person can easily enter our residences. So a process is underway with the Housing and Residence Affairs and the Office of Dr. Val, VIP Val, to look at redeploying security inside the residences so that access to the residences can be effectively controlled. Because we have seen what happened at Mangosuthu University of Technology, where a student was killed in one of the residences of campus. And then we said we are not immune as a university to such incidents, so we mustn't wait for an incident like that to happen before we start moving. So a process is underway. I just received last night the housing rules, which we are going to incorporate in the standard operating procedures for the security that we are deploying the residents, so that it is clear as to what their job is. As far as road safety is concerned, I also want to announce that we have done a road safety risk assessment, and we have identified certain hotspot areas which are unsafe for our students. Cars are driving very high speed in those areas, but because there are no physical barriers to mitigate that problem, so those areas were identified, and then a process is underway to erect speed bumps to improve your road safety on campus. And then we have also increased our traffic capacity. As you can see, we have the colleagues that you see here. We have more members in the traffic unit now to be able to ensure visibility on campus. And then one member is undergoing a traffic officer's course at Mangaun Training Academy as we are speaking. So that is also in line with our strategy of enhancing our traffic capacity. So that is in brief, just to give you feedback in terms of the future plans that we are having. And then as far as the establishment of the Student Safety Collaboration Forum is concerned, I'm working on the terms of reference for that. And then the relevant bodies will be included, will be invited. So unless there is any question, then I will go to the closing remarks, or I'm not sure if
Does anybody have a question? Okay, now I have a question.
So,
Mr.
Mutale is ready to answer.
One of the cases that Embrace a Sister was talking about is that one of the members in their foundation organization was raped at 3 a.m. in the morning. And then, Aqua Protection Services, they asked her what she was wearing, looking at her weave.
Yeah.
Now, what must happen if I will be afraid to go to Protection Services to report a crime or violence and will be asked based on my weave? Why?
Now, thank you very much for that and for the question that you just asked. Let me put it on record to say members of Protection Services have no right at all to ask you what were you wearing and all those type of things. A rape is a rape. It shouldn't matter what were you wearing. Whether you were wearing nothing or you were wearing a weave or whatever the case it may be, nobody has the right to rape you. That's the bottom line. So my plea to students is that whenever such experience, when you experience such experiences, you need to escalate this to us so that we know about this kind of stuff, because it's not in line with our protocols. It's not in line with how we do business. And the message to the team is very clear in Protection Services. When a member comes, you need to attend to a member in a professional manner. And what constitutes a professional manner is defined to the members in the space. So that should not have happened. If you still remember the incident, I think I will still appreciate, the date. I will appreciate to get more information so that I can escalate that. I can take that with my team for further investigation, because it shouldn't happen. That's unprofessional.
Hello. Oh. Okay.
I just want to know, in terms of those kind of incidences, right? So then what are the channels that one has to go through in order for the message to get across to management that this is what's happening in their departments? Because you get most times when you go there and you are treated with such putrid behavior, you don't even know who you report it to, because that details is unknown to us.
Any question? Anybody have a question? Comments, maybe?
No more further questions.
How? You guys had questions almost an hour ago. Okay.
This one question where they asked the leader of.
Oh yes. There was one guy who asked in the audience, but he asked that what happened with the regards to one of the previous SRC members physically assaulting his girlfriend on campus. What measures did the university take, and what happened with that case? Because a lot of the students now are afraid that they're not going to be protected on campus when such things happen.
Any other question?
Are we good with questions? Okay, I think yeah.
Let me start with the last question, the one where an SRC member assaulted a fellow student. What happens is that whenever a case like that gets reported to us, we do an investigation. And then once we are finished with the investigation process, then we hand over the docket and the investigation report to Student Disciplinary and Mediation Unit. So that is the unit that is responsible for taking students through the disciplinary process and all that. So as far as I remember, I think although I won't speak much about this case, the investigation process is underway. I know about the case. Investigation means establishing the facts and then submitting a report to a neutral department which has a mandate of instituting disciplinary processes. So I can assure you, if a case was referred to us, we are going to investigate the case, and then we are going to submit our investigation report with our findings and whatever to the to SDMU, and then they handle the case further. But I will follow up as to what is the status, whether it is already handed over. But because if I remember, well, it was a fairly straightforward case, because we knew who the suspect is, we knew who the complaint was and all that. So the case is either at SDMU. I strongly believe it's at SDMU, because I remember we attended to the case. Our involvement in the investigations is really just to investigate and say, here are the facts, and then we hand over to another neutral department. So regarding the issue of how do we report incidences of improper conduct by our security officers, this is one area that when we were doing a review of our operational processes, we realized that I think we need to make our platforms more user-friendly, more accessible. So currently what you do, if you experience a problem like that, where you come to any of our service centers, and then you receive a service that is not of the satisfaction to you, I would say for the interim, because we are still going to review our intranet, because I want the intranet of our department to be user-friendly, so that people can log complaints there and then know who is responsible for what specific areas and all that. But for now, while we are still working on that process, I would say call my office, that is extension 3436 or 3438. Call, then indicate, give your details there, and then I will make sure that that matter is followed up. But I'm in agreement to say, checking our intranet, I realize that there is a lot that we need to do, and I'm on record to say we are going to make it user-friendly, so that it shouldn't be a mountain to climb if you want to report a particular incident. You need to know who's responsible for Kwakwa campus, who's responsible for South campus, who's responsible here for operations, because I'm overseeing all the 3 campuses. So we are going to definitely attend to that. But in the meantime, use the number I gave you to bring your concern to my attention, and then we'll definitely attend to it. Thanks. So as we are now coming to the closing of the program for our Safety Week, I think it is proper and necessary that I must take this opportunity to thank you, firstly, as the students, for availing yourself to come and listen to different speakers who came to interact with you in this regard. I also want to say, to reiterate, that the university management is committed to your safety and security. And we do have a lot to report on in terms of the progresses and all those kind of stuff. But we're communicating through different other channels, but we are going to reflect reflect on that. I want to close by thanking Mr. Ramatlele, Bishop Ramatlele, for clearly articulating the university's commitment in ensuring a safe campus for our university students. It is true that safety and security of students is on top of the management agenda. Captain Celius as well for clarifying the procedure with regard to reporting and handling of sexual offences cases. And then also our partners from the Office of the MEC, Department of Police, Roads and Transport. Your presence really meant a lot to us. And it is such a fulfilling experience to know that we can bank on your cooperation. Our partners from Road Accident Fund for also being here. We say thank you very much for availing yourself. And then my partners in crime prevention, the police, the CPF and all that. Colleagues, I really thank you very much. Seeing what you are doing, especially on the WhatsApp group on Crime Stop. Without that WhatsApp group, it will be very challenging to react or to respond to the complaints that our students, especially those who are staying off campus, are reporting whenever they have issues. And then we are in discussion with the police in that regard to see how can we augment that service. And then I also want to say thank you to members of Protection Services team for always being there for the safety of our students. It's not easy. We always getting attacked from left, right, and center, but we must remain committed to ensuring that the safety of our students remain our priority. And then you also heard from the students here that there are some complaints about the behavior of some of our colleagues, which is something I think we need to take very close to our heart. And then when we go back, convey the message that you heard it from the students themselves to say they are not all happy about how some of our colleagues treat them. And then as you heard, I made a commitment that is not the norm, that is not how we should be known, and we will have to, of course, correct that. I want to say thank you to my sisters from Embrace a Sister for also coming here and sharing the stage with us. I also had some discussions with them to say, now that I know who to talk to, it will make my life easy, because when we establish the Student Safety Collaboration Forum, I want you to be there so that you can advocate issues from your angle, so that we can join hands in ensuring that safety and security of university students is enhanced. I also want to say thank you to Mr. Matladzi from the next chapter, and I think you're also going to be invited in the forum that we are going to be establishing. And then Mrs. Lingau, I must apologize for the wrong say name there, because they say Lingau, but it's actually Lingau, from Gender and Social Equity Office, for having shared with you all the services that they're rendering. And then also Mosa Utla from Student Counseling and Development. I think her session was very informative, because some of these things we take for granted. We don't necessarily know that we have these services, and you don't utilize them. And I must also say thanks to the facilitators. Since we started the program, I saw different facilitators from Monday up to now. Thank you very much for lending your hands to us. We really appreciate that. And then Leonie and Valentino from Communication and Brand Management. It was such a pleasure working with you in organizing this event. And then there are, of course, lessons learned as to what can we improve next time when we do this. And then safety and security we won't just have a safety week and then we walk away. There will be a lot of work on the background from my office's side. And then safety week will be an annual event, but we'll look at how best can we make it more interesting. We already received some advices. Some of the colleagues will say we need to maybe check if we can bring some celebrities here. And then we are going to pull all the punches next year. And then there were also some suggestions to say maybe you need to leverage on the REC event that is taking place in February. Then we build on that but make it more exciting. So we will definitely, but because we'll be having you on the safety collaboration forum, you will give us better ideas in terms of now how can we make this more exciting, because we need to give feedback to students. There is a lot we are doing, but if we don't get a platform to communicate that, there will always be a perception that we're not doing enough. And then also we don't want to pretend that we have answers to all the questions. We want you to be more involved so that you can give us more ideas in as far as specific challenges are concerned. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I say thank you very much for availing yourself once more. And then I want to close by saying the university, especially Protection Services in particular, we are committed to ensuring that we do our best in as far as your safety is concerned. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
So we have one last diary to give away.
And a bag if you want a bag. Okay. Ne? So the question is, what's another name for the student court? What is it also known as?
This place right here, where you guys are sitting. What do we call this place?
Where you guys are busy eating the rush.
Okay, I think that's a bit tricky.
It's a bit tricky. No? I think someone knows. But you can't get all the prizes. It's his. Okay, okay.
Guys, thank you very much for pulling through. There's still going to be chats tomorrow at the bridge where we're going to have the roads policing officers here. We're going to have the South African Police Services, Student Protection Services, Road Accident Fund,
yeah.
and next chapter as well this week. So we're going to be having chats throughout the week until Friday because it's safety week this week. But from me to you, thank you. My name is Rintintin.
And I go by the name of Mash.
And if you're chilling or studying or whatever, do listen to 97.0 3 to 6 on weekdays. That's where you'll find me on radio on Kof FM 3 to 6 weekdays. And we actually play really good music. We actually play really good music.
Wait until you go to third base. Third base, okay, because Urin Tintin was also talking about her show, allow me to do a little thing. Ayo, partner. Ayo, partner. What do we say to them? Smash in motion. I like it. It helps me to grow. I like it. Yeah, if you grew up drinking Iskol emulsion, you'd be able to sing along. So we see y'all. But anyway, yeah, tune in to Third Base 7 to 9 Monday to Thursday with yours truly. I go by the name of Mash Smash Pizzazz. This is Sage Rage Insane, and we out.